You don't have to have a flat lot to have an inexpensive no-step entrance. If a lot is higher in the front than the back, you may make your access at the front, possibly with a short bridge. If a lot is higher in the back than the front, you can create your access at the side or back of the house, or at the front on a route leading directly from the driveway. If a lot is higher on one side than the other, you put your driveway on the high side. This house appears to be impossible for access, and in fact, it has 13 steps up to the front. But a driveway leads to the back, and that's the entrance the non-disabled residents of the house use, and also the entrance a disabled visitor would use. 2/3 of all new houses have attached garages or carports, and you can have easy access if you build with no step up into the house from the garage instead of the usual 1 or 2 steps. Among the relatively few situations where a no-step entrance is not practical are houses on pilings in a floodplain, or houses on steep lots that are also so narrow that there's no room for a driveway, and no back alley entrance either.
The city asked us to consider making it at least accessible with minimum requirements for the handicap. If you notice, the entrance from the garage and into the house is without steps, without ramps. One can roll the wheelchair right into this entrance without having to have any assistance from anyone.
I mean, how could anyone guarantee that someone buying a speculative house wouldn't have a disability that would require some modifications to the construction for them to be able to buy the home? Why not just have that be a part of the construction to begin with, and it's not an issue, not a question. It doesn't limit them from buying the home, and it doesn't even restrict the market for the seller. I mean, it opens it up to everyone.
Basic access as a routine part of new homes makes it possible for people with disabilities and their families and friends to be part of life instead of staying home isolated. Makes it easier for people who become permanently or temporarily disabled to stay in their homes instead of having to disrupt their lives and their families' lives by moving to a different house or moving into a nursing home. Makes it possible for the day to come when low-income disabled people won't have to stay inside because they can't afford to ramp the steps that keep them from coming down into their own yard. The steps that make them fear for their lives because they can't get off their porch. Let's disabled renters and buyers find a place to live instead of answering ad after ad where they can't even get inside to check the place out. Let's non-disabled people feel at ease instead of uncomfortable or apologetic about inviting disabled people to their home. Makes it possible for everyone to bring in the bike, pull in the wagon, cart in the heavy goods, roll in the baby carriage.
See, now is the time to take action to create basic access to all new houses.
It's a matter of fairness and including people, and it's practical.
Open the door and come on in. I'm so glad to see my friend. You're like a rainbow coming around the bend. And when I see you happy, well, it sets my heart free. I'd like to be as good a friend to you as you are to me. I used to think it was only me, living alone, not feeling free, to be alive, to be a friend. Now I know we all have stormy weather, the sun shines through when we're together. I'll be your friend right through to the end. Open the door and come on in. I'm so glad to see you, my friend. You're like a rainbow coming around the bend. And when I see you happy, well, it sets my heart free. I'd like to be as good a friend to you as